Hi guys, it's like Chrissy here, Christian, and I'm here to do another reading for you guys. This is actually going to be a weekly reading, but it's going to be timeless. So I know this may be new to some of you guys if you've been tuning into my channel before. And this is something that I felt like I could give to you guys, and I can give it a little bit more consistently versus me trying to do 12 videos for each sign every week, every month. It can be quite time consuming. So I wanted to start to do a reading every week. It's going to be general and timeless, but to just kind of check in with the energies that you could be seeing in your surroundings, in your environment, that you could be noticing within yourselves, within your relationships with other people, work life, family life, friend life, relationship, whatever the case. But what I've done is I've pulled cards already. And as I grow a little bit as a reader and as my gift grows, I've been called to move in a certain direction with my readings. And for my personal readings, I know that some of you may have gotten those before, and I'll get back to those soon. But I'll pull the cards for the person, but I sit with the cards for a while so that I can really pick up on the messages from the cards. Also, too, I do a little automatic writing, which is just letting my hand kind of just go with each of the cards to kind of tell me about them, and I get so much insight that way. So a part of me and my deal with YouTube is I feel like I'm forcing myself to read like other readers, like to pull them out, pull a bunch of cards, pull oracle cards, do it right here. And my gift is moving in another direction to where it wants me to take my time so that I can give the deepest messages, or and that may work for other readers, but for me, I prefer to sit with the cards. Now, this particular week, I pulled them already because I wanted to. It kind of me the idea of me doing this kind of worked itself out. I didn't really plan on making this the weekly reading, but it ended up that's kind of what I was led to do. So I've already pulled the cards this week. Next week I think I'll pull the cards on camera and just merge the videos in together after I set with them, for you guys that just have to see me shuffle cards, right? um but yeah, I just wanted to say those few things before, so you guys can know what's going on here. So whenever you're finding this reading, it is going to be timeless. I would say the range it would be the about of a week span, no matter when you find it. Now I will include time sensitive things, like if there's any astrology that's going on, which I definitely in this reading I could see some astrology that's going on, or that's at play here with knowing what's going on astrologically. So I'll mention those things, but even when you find this reading at another time, that still shouldn't be too much of a problem, because at the end, we're talking about energies, and they're all timeless, regardless of the placements, the cards, whatever. Um, Take it as it resonates and leave behind the things that do not. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in with me again, stopping by, spending your time with me. I'm delighted to have you guys. I know that I haven't been present. I'm going to try, like I said, try to do more weekly readings, a little bit more centralized to general, and then maybe I have more time to be able to do a video every week than to try to do 12, okay? And if you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you visiting. I'm delighted to have you. If you like the content that you're seeing here, make sure that you click that red subscribe button before you leave here today. And if any of you guys are subscribed and you want to receive notifications from YouTube when I post content to my channel, click on that bell icon. That way YouTube will let you know that I have posted something new to my channel. Now, if you guys resonate with this message, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you share it, as it is general. Send it to your friends, your family, whoever you feel like may need to hear this message. Also, when you give us readers a thumbs up, it makes our content more visible to other people who may need this reading on this platform. So thank you guys so much. We're going to get into the reading because I have been yapping away for 5 minutes, okay? Now, starting off the week here, we have the King of Cups. The Kings in Tarot come out when we are making important decisions, when we're making quote unquote boss moves, okay? It doesn't matter if you're a female or if you identify as a male. The King of Cups says that we're making a decision, we're making a mandate, we're making a rule, we're making something firm and bold. We're making a decision, a choice, and it is for their perspective suit. So we have the King of Cups here. So this means that we could be making some decisions in our life this week that have to do that reflect our level of emotional maturity, or we could be going through something that is raising our level of emotional maturity. So this could definitely have to deal with relationships, in relationships to others, whether it be romantic, whether it be platonic, or maybe family or something like that, maybe at work. The King of Cups is someone who's very diplomatic. So this could be a situation in your life or in your environment that's requiring a certain level of diplomacy, and non-attachment, as well as compassion, because the King of Cups comes out with that very Christ conscious like energy, that forgiveness, that surrender, that love, that compassion. So this is what the King of Cups brings to him. Now, does this mean that because the King of Cups is calm, he's emotionally stable, he doesn't get moved by the tides of the ocean, does it mean that those things do not occur in his life? No, that does not, because if you look at the card clearly, you see a lot of different things going on in the background. Usually there are waves. You can't really see them on this card because of this particular illustration, but usually there are waves in the back. There's a ship kind of going up and down there, fish jumping around. So a lot of things going on. So you can be feeling like a lot of things are going on around you. I kind of feel that with this King of Cups here. It's like it's a lot of movement around you, but this is saying that you have the ability or the capacity to be able to keep yourself grounded no matter what's going on around you. So there could be a lot of developments in your emotional world this week, a lot of things coming that are pulling you into ups and downs and highs and lows. Also, too, it is Pisces season, a season where it's a little bit easier to to feel everything. Our intuitive senses open up, our spirituality opens up, the veil between spirit and humanity is very thin, so you could be picking up on a lot of people's emotions and things, feelings and stuff. The King of Cups here, one message I was getting with him was that for all of you who are light workers, and I want to say, kind of tell you what light workers are. Light workers are anyone who bring light into wherever they are to other people. So definitely if you're working with other people, and a lot of people think light worker means you're doing tarot readings, you're doing crystal healing therapy, or yoga, Reiki, something like that. But this could be a therapist, this is a counselor, this could be a teacher. If you're working in a hospital, you're a mechanic, anywhere where you're working with people and there's an exchange of your energy to them on a level where you're communicating with someone, are places where the King of Cups, where you're being a light worker. And I kind of have a feeling here this week may come at you with a lot of different emotions. Like I get someone feeling here like the King of Cups is someone where he's hearing a lot of news, or he's getting a lot of things coming in. When I see the Eight of Wands, there are a lot of things coming in, but it's there's a certain sense of neutrality that you're being asked to hold as you come through a lot. So what I'm kind of feeling is there are things here where we're learning the difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy is I feel with you. Sympathy is I feel for you. And there could be a certain sense of learning what that means as you're going through your week, to not that empathy means that you're taking on the emotion with that person. And it's sometimes some spaces and places that is necessary, right? But in others, it's important to have sympathy. I feel for you, but I don't have to feel the same thing. So that kind of comes in where, like, maybe you're having a good day and your spouse is having a bad day. Well, that may not be a good example. Let's just say maybe you just got a good job, and then your friend has just lost their job. So of course there's gonna be a difference in the feelings, right? Well, you might feel really, really happy, and that person might feel really sad. Both things are really true. What's happening here is what I think that we're learning with the King of Cups is that because another person feels that way, there's a certain level of you being able to stay happy or positive where you are, and also being able to understand the other person. It doesn't mean that you have to give up something to be able to understand someone else. It doesn't dethrone you to understand someone. So this kind of goes a long way into disagreements, because with the King of Cups, he's compassionate. He's saying, I can understand your point of view. I don't agree with it, but I understand what that means to you. And from that, that's the opening to being able to release yourself through a situation. So understanding, compassion, listening, having an open heart, being kind with your words, putting yourself in other people's shoes, those things are going to help you out here. But also too, remember, the King of Cups, I feel like he's sitting here, he's saying here, if I give all of my energy, like if I'm at a hospice, right? And generally at a hospice, people are going because they're transitioning, right? If you break down for every one person, that career might not be very emotionally a good experience for you, because you might be brought down every time. This King of Cups is able to say, I understand it, but I'm not going to become it or let it overtake me. So this is kind of where there is that you're being asked of that's being asked of you this week. Where can you notice that something is going around? Where can you, and it doesn't mean just sit there and watch it. It just means that you're able to give compassion to it. And through the compassion, it's not controlling you, because you understand what it means. It's not causing you to be pulled into it, or to be drawn into it. So this could appear in a lot of different ways. It could appear in a relationship. It could appear just with the energy that's around you. Usually with the King of Cups, for me, it's something that's going on in your actual world that's around you. So somewhere in your kingdom, right, there's this going on, to where we're being asked to be neutral in something, to be diplomatic in something. And also too, a lot of times with diplomacy, we feel like we've been conditioned in this society to believe that seeing another's point of view means that we give up our own. It doesn't have to mean that. Actually, if you can do that, a lot of these battles, you can let a person go, and it's like a neutral, like a truce, because a person can go their way, but you also can go your own as well, when you're able to find that understanding, which I like that it takes you into the Knight of Cups, because here is where you're going your own way, right? Let everybody have their feels. Here with the Knight of Cups, you're taking whatever you're learning here going into the week, whether that's a big conversation with someone, whether that's a therapy session, or whether that's just something that's happening in front of you and you're not reacting, and you're like, wow, I didn't react to that situation the way that I thought that I would. I actually, was able to remain in my power, to remain on my throne. It didn't overtake me. So there could be some type of victory here at the beginning of the week, some type of energy that you're coming in on, or this is just being open-hearted and sharing. You're just in a good space. Maybe you're having like a big conversation where you're sharing with someone what they mean to you, or they're sharing what you mean to them, and it just has you really looking at something in a different perspective, because here on the second day of the week with the Knight of Cups, now we're starting to make the decisions, the actions to move in that direction. The Knight of Cups is all about the action, where as the King is the directives, the Knight of Cups comes in with the implementation, right? We're doing it now. So here quickly, boom, whatever this is, aha moment, conversation, or epiphany about yourself emotionally, you're saying, I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it. And this is almost like feeling good becomes your new path, right? Like, I want to feel better. Okay, this feels good. I want to do something else to make me feel good. Now I want to do something else to make me feel good. Now I want to do this. It starts to build up and to amplify, which eventually turns into a beautiful life. The King of Cups experience here is something that's really, really big, but it's not something that, if you're going back to the Knight of Cups here next to it, it's not something that we are able to hold just yet. But this is a moment with the King where he's showing you, hey, life can be this easy. There can be this much flow in life if you take a step back, if you're not of it, and you observe it, become the observer, sit back. What is your intuition telling you? What are your feelings telling you? He's the reader, right? He's the tarot reader. He is the astrologer. He is the person who's able to read these things, because he's able to sit back enough and say, hey, there's something being told to me by these things. I'm not going to become the things that I'm seeing, but I'm going to see see that they're showing me something. And with the Knight of Cups, I kind of just feel like he's a hot and cold kind of knight, like hot, 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 getting hotter, okay, getting colder, getting warmer, getting hotter, getting warmer, getting colder, getting colder. So like if you've ever played that game like Getting Hotter, where you cover your eyes and someone tells you if you're getting closer to the goal or not, the Knight of Cups is that kind of energy. So you may feel that a little bit this week with your actions, that you're going to you're going to know immediately which actions are the ones that are progressing towards where it is that you're ultimately trying to go, or your goals this week, by how they feel. If a decision makes you feel less than you felt before you made it, or worse than you did before you made it, you're going to immediately know maybe that wasn't the right turn, and then you'll be able to readjust. So some people don't really like this energy because it is trial and error. It's not really so much written out like maybe like the Knight of Swords, or where you're just on this high, like the Knight of Wands, or the Pentacles, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna wait around. This is kind of like you have to kind of go through this with a hot and cold kind of method, right? Even with the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles pages are students. The Page of Pentacles wants to learn through experience. So this is not something that you can just get to. So this is kind of like what a person, like what I'm kind of getting with these two here, is when you see these people who are living these lives that you desire to live. Maybe you're seeing someone here with the King of Cups. You see someone that's living a life that looks emotionally fulfilling to you. A lot of times we assume in our minds here with the Eight of Swords, if I had all the things that person had, I'd be happy too. If I had all of that, I'd be happy too. Or if I did all of those things, then I'd be happy too. That's a mindset, because that's a limiting belief about that way of living, because that, where you see that person or that thing or that epitome, it might even be yourself, where you see yourself, that didn't come from making one big decision and just purchasing a few things, or just making a few good choices. This comes from persistently saying this feels good and this doesn't. You have to sift through, and eventually your life is taking you so much on a track of things that feel good, you fall back on stuff that feels good. You fall back on stuff that feels good, unless you know that the moves you make are always in the right direction. Because when you get up to the place where, okay, this doesn't feel warm anymore, you know it instantly. Okay, it doesn't become a thing of where it's like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong place, I'll never be able to make it right. You're like, oh, just that doesn't work. My energy doesn't work there. Let's better apply it this way. You just know how to make the right turn. So this is something that you're coming into with this Knight of Cups, and with the King of Cups here in the middle of the week. There is something that may feel a little bit restricted. I feel like we're going through Pisces season now, which of course these cup cards kind of allude to that. Whenever you see a lot of cups in tarot, we're talking about flow, intuition, release, these high vibration pulls on our emotional selves, right? Your intuition is very heightened, especially in Pisces season. It's a very dreamy, magical season where the veil is very thin between, like I don't know if I said it, but between spirituality and man. So here you're getting all of these insights, you're getting all of these intuitive hits, and it's just very, very beautiful. And then boom, here comes the brain that says, no, we're supposed to go this way. We've always gone this way. This is the way we're going to go. Even if emotions are saying, well, it doesn't feel that good. So this week you can see yourself with that being when you going through the dynamic of, this is how I've always done it, but this feels better. And that may be very, very hard for you, because the thing that feels better may not be the thing that you've ever thought of or that makes sense. And it may come with a form of releasing. So that letting go, the giving up, if we can get over the feeling of, I have to give this up, we can feel better. Some things just aren't meant. Like, we just have these big plates sometimes. We put those requirements on ourselves sometimes. That's not maybe Spirit's design, but if we keep enough busyness in our lives, we don't ever have to really worry about figuring it out, because life will already be figured out for us. Like, if we fill up a schedule with a whole bunch of things, right, and we leave no openness for life to just show us anything, because we don't want to see it. We like, I know if I do this enough that it's going to is going to take up my time and it'll get me there. Well, not necessarily, because that would make us not check in to see if it's actually working. How can you know if it's working or not? And then it's almost like sometimes we feel like we're cheating the system, but we get cheated because we get cheated of the feeling that goes along with what we're trying to do, which is going back to this King of Cup things. Just because a person has things, it doesn't mean that you have to, if you have those things, you immediately get that feeling. These things are worked towards. You can't forge your way into heaven. And I'm not saying that anybody's doing this, but heaven to me, in my belief, is a mindset. It can't be forced into. It has to be entered into. And it's a devotion, like a daily devotion, a daily practice. I don't know, I'm just getting it off of the king, the knight of cup, the knight of cups. The word devotion came to me from him. So it's like this level of devotion that you have to put into your time and into your energy. And it's a consideration of yourself, of your most sensitive self. That's a true depth of love, and it's a true, it shows the universe that you really, really love yourself, because you're paying attention to what it's telling you. Your feelings are your connection to the spiritual realm, right? So if your feelings are telling you something and you're heeding what they're saying, you're listening to the universe, and you're listening to the universe. Now, I say this like this. Spirit is like a GPS navigation, and sometimes what the brain will do, because it doesn't like taking a lot of risks, right? The way that it worked is always how it's gonna work. That's what the Eight of Swords is. Like, these are the beliefs. I can only be this. I can only go this far. This will only be for this. Only these type of people get these type of things. Only this type of, those mindsets keep us safe, and that's why we have them. We don't realize it, but those are the things that keep us, that really, really keep us safe. And usually what happens is spirit has us going good, we're doing good, we're walking along the path. Then the brain comes in, and it says, okay, what's going on here? Okay, GPS said make a left. Okay, let's keep on making lefts. Well, making lefts and making lefts makes a tower moment in the tarot, to where you built yourself up in the wrong direction so far, so long, that boom, there has to be some type of big, shocking moment to come through to bring you back down to ground zero, so you can build yourself up and go in the right direction. So here is where the brain comes in the middle of you doing this, and it's like, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be doing that. Spirit is asking you this week, or at this time when you get that, to not let that feeling that comes up in your brain that tells you you're less than what you are. You're limited. You can't oversee your situation. You can't see yourself through where you are, through the darkness that you're at, through the path that you're on. You'll never get through this. You'll never be good enough. It's saying here, the King of Cups was gonna love on that part of himself. He's not gonna push it down and say you're wrong for thinking that and you need to force yourself to be positive. What he's gonna do is he's gonna embrace that. So, like, for example, if the if the day was sunny, the Knight of Cups would go and have a picnic, right, on a sunny day. But if it was rainy, guess what he'd do? He put on his, well, for me, it's long johns. He put on his long johns, get under the cover, and and watch his favorite shows, Netflix, play video games. This is to say that life is, his picnics aren't ruined because there's a rainy day. There's an opportunity for him to love himself even in that moment too. So don't look at these moments, or these days that are off, or where you feel constricted, like they're the end all be all, because those things may very well be true, but they're not the only truth. They're just the truth to what you can see with your own five senses. It's not the truth of how you can feel. There's always this emotional opportunity, even when the outside around you seems like you can't. Maybe the exit out isn't through the outside. Maybe it's inner, it's the inside, which these two cards are like that. It's an inward journey. Sometimes it's not always, the solution is not going to always be ever present right then and there. So what are you going to do, and how are you going to console yourself when you get to those moments to where you feel like life is telling you before your eyes that this is a block, this is a doorway? Because faith requires maneuvering around walls. And yes, you may think that you need to bust through a wall, but there may be an easier way around, which is this river. You see the river banks? He goes along the river, whichever way it may go. So that's something to keep in mind here. There could be an easier way around something this week. Through non-action. I'll say that. Through non-action, for one. The eight of because here the eight of swords shows you tied up to on the outside world, but here you're still moving, so something's still going on even if it doesn't look like it is on the outside. Spirit is trying to get you to really learn about this really quickly here with the eight of wands, because the page of pentacles has to learn through experience. So I feel like what's going on with the page of pentacles and the eight of wands, a lot of experiences are being thrown at you really fast, where it's saying, okay, we know it doesn't look how it's supposed to look, but how does it feel? Does it feel good? Yes. Then keep on going in that direction. Okay, then boom, it happens again. We know it doesn't look how it's supposed to look, but how does it feel? Yes. It does it feel good? Okay, then keep on going in that direction. So these tests are coming until you can ignore this, until it becomes a thing of where, oh yeah, this is just one of those days again. Oh yeah, this is just getting the better of me because it always does, but it is not the truth. And to lean more into, I am damn sure moving in a good direction emotionally. I feel better about life. So when these days come, I don't have to feel, I feel so good. I don't want to like leave off of that for this. We're just going to have to find a peaceful way to deal with it. You know, it's just like some days you wake up, and some mornings you may wake up with, with a bunch of energy. And then some days you're like, oh my God, I don't want to get out of bed today, but you still make it through the day. That's just how that goes. Maybe, on the days that you get up a little groggy, we might need a little double shot of the coffee on that day, right? So it's just, you learn ways to maneuver it. You don't let that become the lens at which you view your life, because we make decisions in the present. And if you're feeling acute, something is acute around you, you might start making acute decisions, which those in the long run, those kind of decisions that could that could really throw you off of your course. This takes a lot of precision and being careful with yourself, not to throw yourself into anything else outside of your emotional stability, because you're gaining it here. The page of pentacles here could also be us arranging our energy. The pentacles to me are about our physical world, our energy, our time, our money, our resources. There could be something here that I was sensing when I was reading these cards, that something here might get let go of, like something, like maybe a responsibility you have. I would almost feel like it's like now you don't have to do it anymore. That's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting here. Something is you're kind of being released from something that may have kept you feeling tied up, and it's going to free up space and energy, or maybe rearranging the way that you do your day, the way that you do your week. Maybe towards the beginning of the week is a good time to gauge how you're feeling, to really check in with yourself emotionally, because that, I'm getting here, like, for those of you who are listening to this reading, that the beginning of the week is a pivotal point for you emotionally. So I would venture to say that if you get caught up in the tide, you never get it right that week. Boom, it's just like you're boom, hit by the week, bam. King of Cups says, go in emotionally stable, emotionally sound. Try to set that groundwork at the beginning of the week. So you don't want to get up late on a Monday and then you're like you're like thrown off for the whole week. This is saying start off the week feeling good, with flow and with ease. That might even mean getting up earlier. That might even mean taking the extra steps. But the Knight of Cups doesn't mind if it takes extra steps. This is the picky eater, right? The particular person. Like, I'm sensitive about those things, so I don't mind if I have to go to a store that's further to get the type of food that I want, or to get this that I want. But account for the time. Don't this is what Spirit's wanting you to do. Account for that part of yourself that needs things to feel a certain way. If that takes extra time, extra resources, it's saying here with the Page of Pentacles, you may have to do that, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it, because it's supporting where you're moving towards. If it's dreams and goals and emotional fulfillment, then it takes you putting your time and effort into dreams and goals and emotional fulfillment. Emotional fulfillment is not just the house on the hill with the husband and the wife and the family. Sometimes that is the ice cream. That is the, I woke up early so I didn't have to rush. Now I didn't walk in. I walked into work feeling good. This is the extra walk through the park. This is the relaxing bath. This is the gift to yourself. So this is saying, how can we really reallocate ourselves? And also too, it's saying here, even for this, there may be something here where for this we can use our, maybe this is a day, these times are the days to really be soft with yourself when you're feeling like what's going on outside of me is greater than what's going on inside of me. Those are the times that you need the love the most. That's when you need the most energy, and it may come out in your day. This is where you're having to do more of the actions, the tangible actions for yourself. Like the page of pentacles is looking here. She's saying, what can we do to get our hands dirty to kind of get over this feeling when we're feeling like that? And what that kind of can be here is with the page of pentacles and the eight of swords, this is a little bit of getting grounded. Maybe we're needing to do some grounding activities. When we're in the eight of swords state, we're really in our head a lot. Mercury moved into Pisces, so this could be where we've been feeling this very loose and flowing energy, and then here comes the brain like trying to make sense of every single thing. And this is not energy you can make sense of. Like this knight may take him a few minutes, a few seconds to make the next move, or a few years, depending on how he feels, right? That's how he's moving. The brain doesn't like that. The brain is like, A, B, C, D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's how the brain works. It works linearly. Emotions don't work like that. Remember, these things are, emotions connect us to the past. They also connect us to the future. So it's timeless, and the brain doesn't know how to understand timeless. So when these two things get into interaction with each other, if you're not very mindful of that, then this will win every time, because there are more things in the world that tell you things go a certain way than there are tangible of, well, what feels good, what's hot and what's cold for me. Okay, so that's something here you could be rearranging here with this page of pentacles, as to how you're living your day or how you're treating yourself when you're going through these days. I just kind of feel like something here, I keep on feeling like something here is getting released, like a responsibility is getting released. Almost like you're getting a call up maybe that's like, oh, you don't have to do this anymore. You're like, yes, okay. So be on the lookout for those things too. Also with the King of Cups, don't show too much excitement either if you got out of something. Just be like, oh, okay, well, well, just let me know, or something like that. Be diplomatic. But coming back here towards the end of the week, and also the page of pentacles too can be some news that we're getting about that we're getting about finances or something like that. I had this weird thing happen with an account this week. So there could be something here where you could be learning something about your money. Even with me with this and what I was kind of saying here is it opened me up to thinking of to looking in a certain direction that I wasn't looking in, as far as something. So here with this and with you, there could be this opportunity that comes up financially where it's like, okay, this is just not a good fit, let it go. Like something is taking away, just let it go with the wash, because Pisces season likes to wash away all the things that we're kind of complete with, and then it's going to give an opening for you to be able to put your efforts into something that feels good and that is a good investment of your time and energy and resources. So you have both of these cards looking at the mind. This is saying what feels good and what's tangible and practical, which, I mean, these are just that's what it takes to have a good life. Like, to me, to be honest, it feels good and it's a good investment of my energy. Spirit is saying that there's something here in your environment that they're both trying to get rid of, that if you could let it go, maybe the perceptions, these beliefs, this mindset, even by getting grounded, there's just a space is opening to bring in whatever this thing here is here in this space right here that I feel like is trying to be created for you. So there is something being squeezed out. I kind of feel like it's being pushed out. Like this energy is being pushed out because you're feeling more powerful. You're feeling like, I know what's feeling good. This is happening automatically by me making these choices that feel good. Now I have to make my choices and my actions and my decisions line up with with intentions that make me feel good. And I think that that's working hand in hand, and that creates the portal here, the eight of rods, for spirit to be able to throw in some things to you for this expansion and for this growth. You're creating that space by looking at the truth of your reality, seeing how limiting beliefs, perceptions, and things can hold you back, because your brain is going to tell you that in order to get from point A to point Z, that you have to go through B, C, D, E, F, G. And the Knight of Cups is like, no, I can kind of skip around. But the thing is, the reason why he can skip around is because he's not thrown off if life sets him back. He doesn't look at this like a setback, or any day like a setback. He looks at it like, okay, I'm still moving forward. That's just a day. That's just a day. The human linear mind is like, that's a setback. He doesn't mind if God says, or the universe says, move over here for a second while we get this out of your way. Okay, now let's put you back. So there could be something here where that's happening, where it's like, oh, I feel like I'm off of my track. But okay, something got removed, and now look at this space that I have that I wouldn't have been able to come up with on my own. So let that energy kind of happen here. This day here, Friday, could be about expansion. It could really move fast. The Eight of Wands is a very fast moving energy. So there could be that you could feel like that day is going, or towards the end of the week, that things start to move a little bit quickly. It's also can be a lot of communication. I see a lot of in and out, but also they can be work. Like if you have like a customers and they're coming in back and back and back, communicating back and forth, emails, text messages, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Queen of Rods is here, so it could be at work, just a good day at work, or a good day creating. She is the CEO. Maybe some of you are texting, someone is communicating something on Friday that they feel very that they're feeling very confident about. You're confident about your communication towards the end of the week, and that's a very positive thing. That's a positive thing here, because with the Knight of Cups, it's not that it's not stopping you from living in your truth, from honoring who you are. So I kind of feel like a little bit like there's a lesson learned here, almost, if I could say, because by the end of the week there's this ultimate confidence here with the Queen of Rods of where you're at. Like the Queen of Rods is just present, and she's the queen. She's a queen because she has mastered the art of being present and being in the moment, so she can feel everything and see everything out, but she also owns all of the experience. So the Eight of Swords here, we're not rejecting this experience anymore. With the King of Cups, we come in and we love and we give compassion to us in the spaces and places that we feel trapped, and others too, right? In others as well. So that could definitely be something that comes into play here this week. Also too, I kind of feel like the Queen of Rods here, one thing I kind of want to point out with her is that for some of you here, we're getting in touch with these bigger dreams, these bigger goals, our soul's path, what we're sent here to do. And those big things are going to more than likely be in complete opposition to what your life looks like today. Remember that these are goals and dreams for a reason. If they were realized, it wouldn't be a goal or a dream. If you were that close to it, it would just be something to check off on your list. So these things are supposed to be big. And if they're big, that means that you may feel, you're gonna feel the bigger it is, the further away you feel. That's a good thing. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna get there. It just means that we have some things we have some skills that we have to gain before we can get here. Now, what I feel like is happening here with the Eight of Wands and all of this on a spiritual note is that these lessons are going to come really fast to get you to where you are. It's almost like if you say, I want this position, boss, what does it take to get this position? They say, well, you have to pass all of these tests, and then you're like, okay, I want to be this tomorrow, and then spirit is like, or the boss is like, well, pass these 4 tests overnight. Well, usually a person takes maybe 4 years to do those tests, right? But if you want this thing in that amount of time, then these are the skills that you need in this amount of time to get that amount of time. That's what life is telling you. If you want it to take longer, pace yourself. You can. If you want it to be quicker, know that more, it's still the same requirement. It's just in a smaller amount of time. So you get to control that. That's the Knight of Cups. You get to control that experience. But this is the thing I kind of feel here. Don't ask for it. And then when the tests come along that make you challenge, the bigger tests that make you challenge your beliefs to be open to this, they come really fast. You know, when you ask for it to come fast, the tests come fast. When you ask for the big revelations, the biggest mirror gets shown in front of you. You get to see the biggest part of yourself. So if you aren't okay with seeing that yet, that's fine too. You'll still get there. It's not going to be taken away. But this is why the themes come up so strongly, because we're wanting that more. We want to get there quicker. And Spirit is always going to show up and show us the things that we absolutely need. They don't change because we want it more or not. They're still the same requirements. We're setting the time constraint. Life doesn't have us on a time constraint. We have ourselves on that. So it's almost like this. If you're saying you want a gourmet meal in a 4-hour gourmet meal, well, it's gonna take the 4 hours of work. But if you want that same meal in the 2 hours, well, then you're gonna have to be double tasking, because you have to cut that time down. So that's kind of what it is. And when you set, I should be here by here, that's what sets the pressure. Like, I should be here by the time I'm 30. I should be here by the time I'm 35. Well, or 40 or 50, whatever the case. Well, if you set those things like that, then if you set that intention, then yes, you do have to be there by that time. But that's only because you set that intention. Spirit is not in a rush to get you to make you be anywhere you don't want to be, but it will provide the steps that are needed for the time that you allotted for where you want to go. You're the creator of your reality. So if you rush something, if you want to rush to get somewhere, I don't want to say rush, but you're feeling like you should be somewhere faster than it naturally feels, then the tests are going to come at you faster. So if you're like, whoa, life is giving me too much right now, maybe it's okay to be where you are and not to try to just say, I want to be out of here so bad, I want to be there so bad, because it's only going to turn up the volume on you if you do it that way. Which, if you're prepared for it, go ahead, but it takes a lot of trust, because remember that if we're wanting to get here in a few days and our life is this, it's like $1 million in the bank account, $10 in the bank account. You want to get there quickly, there's going to take a lot of work to get from there to here quickly. But if you want to take your time, that's cool. But just understand, there are going to be more days that you're mad that you don't have the million if you're expecting to have it in a week than there would be if you were working towards it over some years, because you can actually see, okay, oh, I'm getting somewhere. Oh, okay, I'm getting there. So there's a difference in that, but you are the person that sets that pace here by how you feel and how you want to move forward, and also by how you perceive how it is that you're moving, your perception of the choices that you're making. Yes, the choice felt good, but why am I judging myself for it if it feels good? Leave it at that. Okay. The Queen of Rods has no apologies about feeling good for herself. Usually she's in a desert somewhere because she doesn't give a crap about what other people think about what feels good to her. She just says, it feels good to me. I don't care about what other people think, what the masses are saying. I'm going to go my own way. And people are drawn to her because of that. It makes her stand out, because everybody's over here on the right and she's on the left doing her own thing, enjoying life for herself, not giving a crap. And it makes people be drawn to her, like the sunflowers are drawn to the sun. But also to take note of the cat, because the cat is very independent of the mind and of what's supposed to happen and what pets are supposed to do. It does its own thing. You're really the cat's pet. The cat is not your pet, because cats do whatever they want to do. So this is kind of like where Spirit is trying to get you. Your confidence has to be high, and it has to be unapologetic. So this is saying here, yeah, guys, laugh at me even if my life doesn't look like it's on track. I know what's going on the inside. We have to be able to have that confidence to have this, because there are going to be a lot of days where it doesn't look like the thing, and you can't give up on those days. You have to stay empowered on those days and stay confident in those days. So if you're wanting those things to come fast, these lessons in confidence, when things don't go the way that you want them to go or don't line up the way that you want to, and we make those beliefs about the way that life is going to go based on the way that it's been, you're going to be challenged in that very, 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 deeply. Okay, so that is the reading that I have for you guys for this week. I did want to pull an oracle card here just to see what animal spirit is around, or what message the animal spirits have for us for this message, and then I'll close out. Thank you guys for spending your time with me. If you like this message, please, by all means, click on that like button. That way other people can see it. Let me know if you like this style of reading too. I really enjoy kind of doing this with y'all because I feel so connected to it. Uh-oh, I don't know why oh, sorry guys, my little Google Home thing came on, but yeah, let's pull a card from the Animal Spirit Oracle here. Just get a message, see. Ooh, oh, you know what? Ooh, look, it's so funny. Look at that. On the bottom of the deck. Okay, look, I'm gonna keep that. Actually, look, Bobcat, life is a mystery, and the cat spirit. Keeping the cat spirit. We definitely gonna keep the cat spirit here. And also, let's see. I think I'm going to do. We need an angel guide oracle card. I feel it in my little spirit. Okay. We need us an angel guy. I'm gonna shuffle these here because I don't want y'all thinking I pulled the cat out. I'm just like I turned the cards over and that was on the bottom. I was about to get ready to shuffle to cut them and shuffle them, but I'm like that's too like right for that to be at the bottom of the deck like that. Let's see what other advice spirit has for us this week. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Signs and reminders. I really like the signs and reminder card because the Knight of Cups here, this is what I was talking about with the veil being thin. There are going to be things here. I really like this with the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups because there are going to be things happening in your environment that show you that you're moving in the right direction despite what may be in front of you. So this is where you're in tune with that. You're intuitive enough in your surroundings, and that is a practice thing. Intuition is not something that you just notice. Like people don't just start. You notice that if you start looking at the time, you'll start noticing 222, 333 when you're focusing your attention on it. But think about before you were doing that, you probably didn't notice it, or there are no telling that you've probably been seeing the same bird, a cardinal, a bluebird, or you've been seeing the same animal. You may have been seeing cats, or just how that just happened, a cat. Like those things are worth noticing because those are things showing you you're on the right path. Yes, life around you is not showing you that, but these things are here for a reason. And spirit is always talking to us in that kind of way if we so do choose to look at those things. There are always things around us that are reminding us. You may even be finding feathers or something like that, okay? But you're definitely growing and transforming here with the butterflies, so that's there. And then I'm going to read this cat spirit here. Let's get the book. I like reading the books on oracle cards, guys, because I feel like they serve as little bitty what is that word? What is it? Oh, what word am I trying to say? Confirmations, okay? So we got the cat spirit here. We're going to read this. When cat spirit meows, she is calling you to claim your independence and allow for some space between you and others in your life. The only way you can grow in all your relationships now is to have a healthy sense of self-respect and self-worth. When you walk with dignity, knowing who you are, self-aware, and willing to grow, trusting the value you bring, the world will mirror all this back to you in kind. When you say no to codependency and enmeshment, live and let live, and practice taking a risk as you wander into new territory for you, Cat Spirit rejoices. She is here to urge you to let your independent spirit roam free. So what I have this feeling of here is with this Knight of Cups, this is a form of that independence where you move according to how you feel, right? As opposed to what the ego is telling you, what the outside world is telling you, what your mind is telling you, what beliefs are telling you, what society, religion, anything is telling you. Go with your own feeling. And when you feel this feeling come up that's telling you to move how anyone else wants you to do it, guess what? The way to defeat that feeling is to love it. Say that, hey, I've been conditioned to live a certain way X amount of years. This is a programming. It's not me. It's okay that I believe that at that point in time because I may have needed to believe that to get me here. But I'm going to love that part of myself and I'm going to still continue to do this. It's not going to stop me. It's just a moment, okay? And then it says, for the protection message, this may be the time you are facing some unpredictable situations. Are you hesitant to take a risk? Too cautious to jump into something new because you feel you can't trust yourself? Cat Spirit is saying go for it because you will land on your feet. If nothing seems to be going according to plan, there is no reason to worry. So, bam, bam. Cat Spirit loves to mix it up. And these seeming These seeming upsets will actually bring you some wondrous and unexpected opportunities. Get ready to pounce as you may notice, as you may be called to jump into something new at a moment's notice. I like that right here with the Queen of Rods and the Eight of Rods, because that's kind of what I was feeling here with the Spirit is trying to get you prepared fast so you can be able to get on for this, get like be in place for something quicker than what you think. Maybe your desire is, maybe your desire for something is a lot stronger than you realize. I don't think you are, you may be closer to something than you realize. That's kind of something that I get too. So it's requiring a lot really fast, and I kind of understand it. You feeling thrown around, especially with this right here, because you don't want to move. I kind of figure like you kind of like, this is you with spirit, not wanting to move, like wanting to do your, like one day I want to, one day I don't. Very moody with spirit, which these two energies can be a little moody too. So I kind of get that. So just be careful of that here. But yeah, this is spirit trying to get you ready. At this time your instincts are keen and your intuition is sharp. So we were talking about that. Remember, even a temporary failure can lead to a spectacular success. So embrace the adventure. You are sure-footed and can trust yourself. So you got that right there for sure with the Knight of Cups, and that's what this Queen of Rods is. Sure of herself, very sure of herself, in the way that she's moving. And let me go ahead and read signs and reminders, because I feel like this really was pertaining to this Queen of Rods and this fiery energy that I'm kind of getting here from that card. But I feel like this signs and reminders is kind of giving a little allude to the guys over here. So I kind of feel like here we got the Queen, the Page, we got the Knight and the King, a whole family here. So you could be dealing with a lot of people at this time too. Let me just say that. And when you're finding your own independence, it could be family where you're going your way, the group is going their way, whatever the case. But we have that there. And then we're going to read, let's read signs and reminders here. Let's see. Okay. So from the King of Cups, I'll say it's from them. All right. Angels and loved ones in heaven are sending you signs of their presence now. You may be seeing the same number patterns or sequences, finding feathers, seeing the same bird at special times, or even that you're being visited by a loved one or angel in your dreams or at some point in your day. These are all messages of support. You are on the right path, and you're being guided to know that you do not walk this path alone. In times of need, angels are beside you. And I want to point out that that the Knight of Cups is the only knight with wings, these angel wings on his helmet, or the other ones don't have that. Blessing your heart with love and healing, and your angels and loved ones in heaven will never leave you. Their love will never die. So the extended message says, angels love to send us signs because often we're not in a space where we can fully listen to their guidance. Most of the time we're too busy or not willing to listen to the messages we hear on the inside, and signs catch our attention. They remind us that our angels and loved ones in spirit are with us and willing to help us. If you have ever found yourself questioning certain events or signs, it's because somewhere within you, you don't feel fully adequate or worthy of the love that is being shown to you. Know that you are worthy. When you receive a sign, there is an important step that you must take in order to usher miracles in your life. Call in help. A sign is a message that help is available. So welcome it in with an open heart. So, open-heartedness is the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups as well. So this is saying here that when you open up your heart a little bit, you open up yourself to being able to let these messages come in. You open up the awareness to look at things, the signs that are coming, because this could be where something is going on in your life, but it's also speckled with a lot of signs of hope, but you have to know how to decode what that means. Like, you're seeing the same time, you're listening to the radio, you're hearing the same word, a person is talking about the same theme, you're seeing the same feather, you're noticing you're being drawn to a certain color. These things are all signs in these times, but the mind will turn itself up because it doesn't want you to follow intuition, because intuition is open-ended. It doesn't have this computer that's our brain needs a solution to the problem that it puts in. intuition is not necessarily, it doesn't always satisfy the mind because it doesn't have all the answers. It's just a feeling. And the mind is not made to process feelings in that kind of way, but the feelings the feelings can know how to deal with the mind. Your feelings can deal with your mind. Your mind can't deal with your feelings, if that makes any sense. So you can say, oh, my mind is in overdrive today. Let me take a step back. When you're in the state of your mind, it's not going to ever say, hey, let's feel a feeling that we're not sure about. It's never going to say that, right? It's going to say, this is the right way. This is the way, because it was worked before. It's proven scientifically on paper. Let's do it. That may not always be the best move, and you may be learning that in life now. Even with the Page of Pentacles, that's not always right. What's right for one person is not right for everyone else, and that's kind of how we've been conditioned to believe that our way, or the way that we do something, is the way for everyone else, and that's not how life works. That takes away individuality, and it takes away other people's free will. So don't do it to yourself. And if you do it to yourself, it means you do it to others. And don't allow other people to do it to you. It'll just erase from your vicinity if you can understand that in that kind of way. There's not a wrong, what is it? There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. That whole thing, like life, there's no wrong way to do life. No matter how we think, that everybody's doing it the best that they know how. So let live and let God, okay? Which is this compassion and forgiveness and openness and diplomacy and sympathy and empathy and all of these themes here. Releasing life to be able to gain confidence in your own, in so many words. So that is what I have for you guys this week in this reading. I will be back for another reading next week. I hope that you guys like this. Please let me know how you feel about it down below. And thank you for spending this time with me. I will be back with you guys soon. Bye-bye.